Hello and welcome back. My name is AJ, one of the hosts here at the Satoshi Society YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to be dedicating this video towards, talking about the Bitcoin bottom. Now, you've heard me talk about the Bitcoin bottom in our daily live streams for a while now, because, we are very, very close to that Bitcoin bottom. A lot of people are talking about it, but a lot of people are also talking about potentially going lower as well. And there are some, technical indications that we are going to go lower as well. So in today's video, I'm going to be going through a load of indicators that are telling me that we are at the bottom, if not, very close to that bottom, and sort of when we could establish that bottom. And I'll also be going through at the end just a quick technical pattern, which is indicating to me that we could possibly go lower. So stay tuned for that, and make sure you slap a like on this video, subscribe, and head over to our Twitter account as well, where we keep you updated with the crypto market on a daily basis. The link for that will be in the description. Nevertheless, though, let's get on into the chart. So the first chart I want to show you is this chart here. Now, I have showed you this chart for a while now, on our daily live streams, but I'm just going to go through it again for the sake of this video. And this is the Pi cycle bottom indicator. Now, the Pi cycle bottom indicator has perfectly predicted the bottom of the previous two bear markets. So let's take a look at the first time that the Pi cycle bottom indicator indicated this, and that was back in January 2015. So what we can see here and what we are looking at is we want this green line here to cross above the red line and the red line to cross below the green line. When that happens, it signals that we are, it signals perfectly the bottom. And you can see it right here. When we did get this flip, let me just get my pen tool out. When we did see that flip, we did establish that bottom right here. That happened all the way. That happened again in 2018. We did see this flip. We did see the green line cross above the red line crossed below the green line, and that perfectly signaled the bottom of the 2018 bear market. So what this is telling us is that every time it flips, it predicts the bottom. And, that's what we are seeing as of right now. So if we go to where we are, we are literally on the verge of getting this flip. And if we do zoom in a little bit closer, you can see that the lines are actually crossing as of right now. The current price of Bitcoin is sat at $19,700. When you see this video, the price may be slightly different. But as of right now, as of filming this video, is sat at $19,700 approximately. And we are getting that initial flip. This, for me, is signaling that we are, very close to that bottom. Now, there are 3 days and 10 hours left of this, of this weekly candle. And if we do get that weekly candle close, around this price, then we will get that initial cross, and that will signal the bottom for me. Now, this does conflict with sort of my bottom price target, which is around $15,500, which I'll get onto in a moment. But we do still have 3 days and 10 hours left, so there is a lot of time for the price to sort of get down to where I think it will come to, but it may not do that. We may sort of be at that bottom. Now, we don't really know, but what I can tell you is that I think that the bottom, if we do get this cross, I think the bottom, is going to be in this week. 3 days, 10 hours. I think the bottom is potentially going to be in this week. If we don't get that cross, then potentially next week is going to be when we get that bottom. So this is the Pi cycle bottom indicator. It's perfectly predicted. The past two bottoms of the bear markets, of the 2015 bear market and the 2018 bear market. And I don't see why, it cannot predict this bear market bottom as well. Now, I want to add something into this chart as well, add an indicator into this chart, which you haven't actually, which I haven't shown you before. And, this sort of this sort of links with this pi cycle bottom and can give us a better understanding of sort of where the bottom is going to be. And that is the MZ Bitcoin oscillator, and that's what you can see on the screen right now. Now, what we are looking at here is we are looking at green bars. We want to see green bars on this MZ oscillator, and we want that to line up perfectly, with a pi cycle bottom. So let's take a look back in 2015 when we got that first initial cross on the pi cycle bottom. Now, when we got that first initial cross, at the exact same time, what we saw was a green bar on the MZ oscillator. So if you can have a look here, you can see we get that green bar indicating the bottom, lining up perfectly with the pi cycle bottom indicator, and it perfectly predicted that bottom. We did get another green bar here again, and that predicted the bottom as well. And if we move towards 2018, again, we got that flip. And at the same time, we got that green bar, and we got an even bigger green bar here. So basically what this is, telling us is that when we get this green bar on the MZ oscillator and we get that flip on the pi cycle bottom oscillator, it's just two indicators that are telling us and working together to tell us that we are at that bottom. And Bitcoin has established that bottom. Again, we've got that green bar here again, and it has perfectly predicted the bottom. On the MZ oscillator, it only shows a green bar when we are at that bottom. It only has ever showed us a green bar when we are at that bottom. And as of right now, we are printing another green bar. And that, is lining up perfectly with the pi cycle bottom as well. Pi cycle bottom looks like it wants to flip this week. So what we are looking at is these two together, and for me, this is telling us that we are most likely going to bottom out this week. Now, I'm not telling you that we are going to, but what this indicator is telling me is that we are going to. So take it with a grain of salt. But for me, and looking at history, this week is most likely going to, Bitcoin is most likely going to establish that bottom. There are some other indicators that I want to show you as well, and that are sort of similar to this pi cycle bottom. So if I get rid of this pi cycle bottom here and add in the 100 MA and the 20 MA, this is similar to the pi cycle bottom indicator, but the pi cycle bottom indicator, it sort of lags behind. Personally, for me, the pi cycle bottom indicator is a bit more precise, but this again just gives us more information that and sort of more confirmation that we are at the bottom, if not, very close to that bottom. So looking here, the blue line is in fact the 100 MA and the yellow line is the 20 MA. So when the yellow line crosses below the blue line goes above the yellow line. The first time this happened was in 2015, January 2015. And when they crossed, we saw the bottom. Bitcoin established that bottom of the bear market. Then they flipped again, and like the pi cycle bottom indicator, when they flip again, they flip bullishly, and that's the start of the bull market again. But what we're looking at is just that cross, and as you can see here, we got that cross, established the bottom, consolidated before we got that bull market again. That happened again in 2018. We got that cross. The yellow line went below the blue line went above the yellow line, and we established that bottom perfectly. If we look at where we are now, we have in fact already flipped. Now, for me, this isn't, as I said, it's not as precise as the pi cycle bottom indicator. It just gives us sort of a rough indication of where the bottom is. So for me, because we have flipped here, the bottom has either been established at $17,500, or there isn't much more downside. We could get a little bit more downside, maybe to the target, which I'll mention, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But yeah, for me, this is another indication that we are either at the bottom or very, very close to the bottom. And when I say very close, I mean, a couple thousand, not, not another 10,000s like a lot of people are talking about, 12,000 and 10,000. For me, we're literally a few thousand away from that bottom. So that's, another indicator for me that we are, at the bottom or very, very close to that bottom. Another indicator I'm looking at is the RSI. So let me give you a quick look at the RSI. And for that, I will have to zoom out. So if I just get the arrow tool, I can zoom out for you. So here we go. What I'm looking at here is the RSI, and what I'm looking at is the RSI to drop below 30. Now, this for me is called the golden zone. When we drop below 30, that is the perfect time to buy, because looking at 2015, 2015 bear market, when we established that bottom, what happened? Well, the RSI actually broke below that 30 level. If I just take a look at the RSI, so this was 2015. This is when we established the bottom. The RSI dropped below the 30 level, and that was the bottom. Bitcoin established that bottom. The exact same thing happened in 2018. So if I zoom in a little bit here, you can see that on the RSI, we did drop below that 30 level, only very slightly, but initially, we did drop below that level. And again, we bottomed out. This is just more confidence to me that we are, at that bottom, because if we have a look where we are now, we are below 30. We've been, this is, the most we've actually ever been below 30 on the RSI on the weekly chart. But, we are below it. And for me, this is telling me that we are at that bottom, if not, very, very, very close to that bottom. So as you can see, we are below that level of 30. And for me, we are sort of in that range of the bottom. So, these are just loads and loads of indications telling me that we are at that bottom. There's another indication here. This is the simple moving average, 1,458 days chart. So this is the 4-year simple moving average. And basically what this is telling us is that, we are at the bottom again. So what we're looking at here is the 400 SMA, which is this sort of turquoise light blue line, if you call it that. And basically, when we meet this line, when the price of Bitcoin meets this line, it has signaled the bottom for the 2015 bear market, the 2018 bear market, and it perfectly predicted the bottom for the 2020 COVID crash as well. So taking a look at the 2020 COVID crash, we did establish that bottom around the vicinity of the 200 moving average, the 4-year smooth moving average. Again, in 2018, we established the bottom around the 4-year simple moving average, and again in 2015. If we take a look where we are now, you can see very, very clearly that we are, in that we are in that vicinity. We are at that 4-year simple moving average vicinity. As of right now, we are slightly below it. For me, just more confidence that we're at the bottom. That's literally all this is showing us, and also the color of the dots as well. The bluer we get, the closer to the bottom that we are. And as of right now, we are as blue as you can get. And as you can see, as the dots start to change, to green, to yellow, and then to red, that signals sort of when the market tops out. But what we're looking at now is we want, the dots to be as blue as possible, because that is signaling a bottom. As you can see, when they go really dark blue, like in 2015, like in 2018, and like in the 2020 COVID crash, that did signal the bottom. And that's exactly what we are getting now. We are as blue as we could get, and we are just below that 4-year simple moving average. Just more confidence that we are at that bottom. Now, I want to show you why I think my target is $15,500. Now, I've showed you this multiple times. Ben knows that I love to show this chart because it just, for me, indicates what price is the bottom is going to be, because it has predicted the past three bear market prices perfectly. So what says it's not going to do it again? What we look at on the charts mainly is sort of history. What's happened in history, and is it going to play out again? And the majority of the time it does. And this chart, proves it perfectly. So what we are looking at is the pink line. Now, the pink line is the CVDD, and that is the cumulative value days destroyed. That's what the CVDD means. So yeah, this pink line is what we are looking at. Now, I want to go back all the way to 2011. So when we first established this, CVDD level, the price found a bottom at $2. You can see it perfectly lines up. The price perfectly lines up with that CVDD, the pink line, and we found perfect support off of it. We established the bottom and we saw a bounce. That was in 2011 at $2. We established the bottom, and then it was the bull market. Then we saw that bull market. We did see that exact same scenario in 2015, the 2015 bear market. Okay, where did we establish that bottom? We established that bottom on the pink line, the CVDD, and that was at approximately $172. But it's picked the bottom twice now. This CVDD has picked the bottom twice. So will it do it again? Well, let's have a look. So going into 2018, again, perfectly predicted the bear market bottom. You can see there, right there, we found perfect support on that pink line. That price was around $3,255. So you can see it's perfectly predicted the last three bear market bottoms. So what says, it's not going to do it again? For me, I personally think, this is, going to establish the bottom again. I think this CVDD is going to predict the bottom again. So where is the current price of the CVDD currently sat at? Now, the price that is currently sat at is at $15,500. Now, this is where I think the bottom is going to be, but it could vary slightly. When I first showed you this, it was sat at $15,300. So because it is, sort of a moving average, it will, vary slightly. Only very slightly, but, initially it is moving. So for me, at the moment, $15,500 is the bottom. But in a few days, maybe in a week or two, this could change. Maybe it comes up to close to 16,000. That's a possibility. But for right now, $15,500 is my target. We are very close to that as well. And yeah, for me, this is most likely going to predict the bottom. When the price meets this CVDD, that is going to be the bottom for me. And yeah, right now, $15,500 is where I think they're going to meet. But as I said, it can vary. We could see the CVDD continuing to increase slightly, and the price, decrease slightly as well, and maybe they meet at 16,000, maybe they meet at 16,500, maybe they meet at 17,000. We don't know as of right now. But for me, looking at this and looking at the charts, especially the pi cycle bottom indicator, if this is about to flip, that pi cycle bottom indicator is about to flip, then for me, 3 days and 10 hours left of this weekly candle. For me, if this pi cycle bottom is going to flip, then the bottom is going to be in this week. We are going to establish the Bitcoin bottom this week. That's what I personally think. And that means, we could have a quick move to the downside and meet this CVD level at approximately, maybe $15,500, maybe $16,000. It all depends where this CVDD sort of ends up towards the end of this week. It does move every day. So, it has, 3 days and the 10 hours left of today to sort of establish its bottom price. But for me, these two indicators together are going to indicate the bottom. And we'll see where the price bottoms out. But yeah, as I said, for me, this is where I think the bottom is going to be. Very close to the bottom. But there is a lot of FUD going out as well that we are going to go lower. So I did just want to touch on that as well. So coming into sort of my main charts, and I just want to look at some TA, and I also want to look at the 200 MA as well. But first of all, I want to show you this. So right now, what we are seeing on the charts, let me just get rid of some of these lines quick so it's a bit clearer for you to see. So basically, what I'm looking at here is this bear flag. Now, here's the price target here. So I've taken the price target from the top of the flag to the bottom of the flagpole and pulled it to the potential breakout point. And that would give us a potential target of around $12,000 in that sort of vicinity. But yeah, as I said, this is a textbook bear flag. As of right now, we are holding that support. But if we did break to the downside, there is that price target of around $12,000. This is why a lot of people are talking about $12,000. Now, this is something we cannot, just wipe off the table, because the last time we saw a bear flag was literally, back here, not long ago at all. And, the price target for that was hit perfectly. So this is why I think, there is still that possibility that we could break to the downside here and, have that price target all the way down at $12,000. So yeah, there's a lot of FUD going around about $12,000 and even $10,000. And, it's something that we can't ignore because, of this indicator here. The probability of it hitting the price target, if it does break to the downside, is a lot higher than it not hitting the price target. So, we do have to, we have to keep that in the back of our minds and just, be very, very careful of that as well. Another thing I wanted to show you is the 200 MA because we do have a lot of resistance coming in. So if I just change this to 200 quickly for you, and you can see that we've never actually been significantly below this 200 MA. As you can see here, 2015 we were sort of playing around with that area. We dropped very slightly below it, but we never actually significantly dropped below it. We've had significant wicks below it, but we've never had a significant candle break below that level. A very, very slight break below that level. But, right now we are having a pretty significant candle close below the 200 MA. And we did actually come back up and test the 200 MA as resistance. And we did get rejected, pretty significantly. So for me, this is going to be a very, very strong resistance level for us to get above. And I do think, we are going to be consolidating for a while before we do see, any major moves towards the upside, because, we see this every single time. We established the bottom in 2015, we established the bottom, consolidation, and then the move towards the upside. That happened again in 2018. We established that bottom, slight consolidation before the move towards the upside. So I am expecting some consolidation, and because we are below this 200 MA, I am expecting that consolidation to sort of be below the 200 MA, and then just sort of rearing up for that move, that big move that will push us above that 200 MA, getting that bullish flip on the price cycle bottom. Once we get that bullish flip, you can see the bullish flip here, that signaled the bull market, that signaled, the 2019 bull market. And looking back again, going back in history, you can see, 2015 bear market, we did flip bearish on the price cycle bottom, but once we flip bullish again, that was the start of the bull market. So that's what we are doing. This is the best time to be accumulating. When we get this bearish flip, this is where I'm going to be accumulating, pretty much all of my Bitcoin through this accumulation zone, waiting for that bullish flip again where I'll accumulate even more. And then, that's when we see our portfolios explode, when we get that bullish flip on the price cycle bottom indicator. So these are, all the indicators sort of I wanted to show you about, sort of where the bottom is going to be, sort of what time frame I think the bottom is going to be hit. And that's, for me right now is sort of in 3 days. And as of right now, 9 hours is when I think the bottom could be established. There is one more thing that I wanted to show you, and that is the percentage move down that we have seen over the past 3 bear markets. So looking at the first one, the 2011 bear market, you can see that we had a almost 94% pullback from the all-time high. Now, it's a pretty significant pullback. If we go to the 2015 bear market, 2014, 2015 bear market, you can see that we had an approximate 87% pullback from that all-time high. So it is lower than the first bear market. Then if we go to the next one in 2018, you can see that we had an approximate 84% pullback. So what I'm trying to get at here is that, these pullbacks seem to be getting smaller. And if we, zoom in a little bit and see what the current pullback, what current pullback we are having right now, the pullback that we've had is around 74.5%. Now, if we did, see another 80% pullback, that could take us all the way down to 13,400, or if we saw an 85% pullback, that could take us around $10,000. But for me, I don't think this is signaling to me that I don't think that the price is going to get that low, because looking at this, we are seeing the percentage pullback decrease. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, a lower percentage pullback than we did in the previous bear market, back in 2018. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lower figure than 84%. So this is just, confirming to me that we are potentially very close to that bottom, and we won't, go down to that $12,000 level, that $10,000 level that, everyone is talking about. But, as I said, we can't wipe 12 and 10,000 off the table because, there are those technical indicators that are telling us that we could, get to those levels. But basically, take this information as you do. I can tell you what I think, and I think, the bottom is potentially going to be in this week if we do get that cross on the pi cycle bottom indicator. And yeah, we are very close to the bottom, if not, very, very close to that bottom. Sorry, we are at the bottom, if not very close to that bottom. So I hope this video has given you a good understanding of sort of where the price is potentially going to bottom out at, and sort of what time frame it's going to bottom out at as well. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, please smash a like on this video. It helps me out tremendously. Please subscribe as well, and if you don't follow us on Twitter, make sure you click the link below, and yeah, turn that bell notification on as well so you don't miss any of our uploads. Thank you very much for watching.